Multiple groups in Canada, Germany, and Australia gathered again for the 2019 International Human Rights Day, strongly decrying the CCP's Chinese Communist Party human rights violations and calling on governments to adopt strong measures to sanction the CCP. December 8 was the first day of International Human Rights Week. Hundreds of people from 20 civil society organizations held a rally in front of the Old City Hall in Toronto, Canada, denouncing the CCP's grave human rights violations and making a strong appeal to the Canadian government to adopt strong measures to prevent the CCP from continuing to suppress and violate human rights. A number of representatives from participating organizations spoke. A Christian from the Church of Almighty God, CAG, said,
"According to the reports from the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom and the U.S. Department of State in 2019, Christians from the Church of Almighty God have undergone systematic torture and extrajudicial killings by the Chinese Communist Party. In conducting this persecution, the Chinese Communist Party has taken up the slogan, 'Troops won't be withdrawn until the ban is done.' It doesn't even leave alone our church members who fled overseas. They tried all means to get them back to China and continue their persecution there. So we hereby call on our Canadian government to enact Magnitsky Act as soon as possible to impose sanctions on those human rights abusers."
Mehmet Toti, founder of the Uyghur Canadian Society, appealed that Canada should not be complicit in China's crimes against humanity.
Canada should make it clear it's no longer acceptable for a country like China to continue to deprive the basic right of citizens and to force them to denounce their ethnic and their religious belief.
It is Tibet, East Turkestan, Hong Kong, Taiwan right now, but tomorrow it may be you at home.
Shang Xu, Vice President of Federation for a Democratic China, FDC, said,
现在这个在中国的受迫害群体阶层越来越大，那么中共的这个权力机构可以说已经到了非常肆无忌惮、可以任意杀人的这种程度。那么在这种情况下，国际社会如果再无视中国的这种状况，其实不仅仅受害的是中国境内的老百姓，整个国际社会都在受到这种威胁。法轮功学员有超过100万人被活摘器官，那么现在的维吾尔人有几百万人被关进了劳改营，那么像那个藏人都已经是有将近160个人是因为用自焚的方式来抗议中共的这种残暴。那么现在像那个全能神教会的这个群体的这种受迫害情况刚刚开始被世人所了解。那么这种情况，国际社会必须要站出来，因为光靠中国人自己去反抗，真的是不足以做到能够去推翻或者是阻止中共的恶行。
Gloria Fong, President of Canada Hong Kong Link, stated,
"The Chinese Communist Party is one of the biggest threats to the free world. Now, nobody is safe from its sharp power, even here in Canada. And we should also offer political asylum to those people under political persecution. Canada should also apply the Magnitsky Law to sanction the key officials responsible for violations of human rights there."
On December 10th around 10 a.m. in Berlin, Germany, over 300 people, including teachers and students of Rhein-Maas Vocational College, representatives from groups such as the Independent Chinese Pen Center, ICPC, the Association for the Defense of Human Rights and Religious Freedom, ADHRRF, and the Church of Almighty God, marched toward the local Chinese embassy with some participants holding signs that together spelled Hong Kong, while continuously calling out human rights, free Hong Kong, and stand with Hong Kong. At the gathering site, Christians from the Church of Almighty God strongly condemned violence by the Hong Kong police and denounced the CCP's persecution of religious beliefs and trampling of human rights.
我们只是信神传福音， 可是却遭到了中共疯狂的抓捕判刑。我们教会100万人次被抓捕，其中很多人都遭受酷刑折磨，有124人被迫害致死，至少50-60万人被迫离家逃亡。其他家庭教会的基督徒，包括藏传佛教，还有新疆穆斯林，还有维权异议人士、维权老百姓，都遭到了中共的迫害抓捕。这样残害人类，真是史无前例。我们只有祈求神早日惩罚中共恶魔。
Mrs. Tianqi Martin Liao, president of the ICPC, commended Christians from the Church of Almighty God for persevering in attending human rights events over the past several years.
因为大家都知道，宗教自由在中国还是根本是可望不可及的。那么全能神教是受到打压的非常重要的一支，而且你们组织的越好，你们的信念越坚定，受到的打压可能会更加的厉害。
Pastor Roland Kuhn from Rainmas Vocational College led students in reading the Universal Declaration of Human Rights aloud, and a white rose was offered up at the end of each article. Before sending these roses to the Chinese embassy, Pastor Roland Kuhn sent them a message that the roses represented their fight for freedom, human rights, and against the violent dictatorship. He said that they were standing there that day for Taiwan and for Hong Kong, that they were a voice for all people fighting for freedom, and that they were expressing this strong desire to the Chinese government on everyone's behalf. He also warned the Chinese government that if it continues to trample human rights, the entire world will stand up in opposition. On International Human Rights Day, representatives from the Tibetan community, the Hong Kong Democratic Movement Group, the Church of Almighty God, and Uyghurs, joined by some local people, also held a rally in front of the Chinese embassy in Canberra in protest of the CCP's persecution of ethnicities and religious groups. They called on all persecuted groups to unite and stand up against CCP tyranny. Ms. Nurgul Sawat, a Uyghur representative in Australia, said that the CCP's propaganda and description of ethnic minorities over the years have caused people to stand against Uyghurs. The CCP also describes Christians as enemies and claims their gatherings are anti-government, causing people to develop a very negative view of Christians. The same thing has happened to Tibetans, Falun Gong practitioners, and Hong Kong protesters.
The CCP's top officials have issued multiple confidential documents to launch special campaigns targeting our church. Christians from our church have suffered more than 1 million arrests. In 2019, at least 12 mass arrest operations were conducted by the CCP in Shandong province alone, which have resulted in the arrests of more than 1,000 church members. The real facts have shown that the CCP is the worst culprit of human rights disasters, apparently hostile to universal values. It is an anti-society, anti-human, demonic group that is much more ferocious than fascism.
So what we really have to do is we have to stand strong and we have to demolish this Communist Party. That's the only problem. Once we demolish that Communist Party, everything will be free.
Reported by Eastern Light correspondent Shu Yang.